in Economics from Bamberg University and a Bachelor in Business Studies from Lund University. So please welcome Dr. Thorsten.
Open source initiatives, open source. Before I come to some open source initiatives, I would like to tell you something about our institution. We are formally known as the German National Library of Economics. We are calling ourselves, or it's in the law that we are allowed to call ourselves Leibniz-Information Centre for Economics. When we talk about economics, it's always the German word economic sciences. So it's economics and business studies. We have both, and economics sciences is the overall. We are nearly 100 years old, and we started as a library of a research institution. And yeah, you see, we are a little bit different to just a university library, business school library. We have more than 260 employees, and but we have a national task as well. So if you see how we are, how our competencies are, economic sciences, we have services for the researchers, for the students. We have research in information sciences, informatics. This is very important. I will come to that. And most of the part, it's just one column here, but 200 people, around 200 people are working in the library. The traditional library work, cataloging, indexing, local services, and so on. So we are still a traditional library with a lot of new things, because we are very fortunate that we have a research institution, a research part. So I would like to start, because everything is coming from our users, our customers. There was somebody saying our customers, oh no, our users. We had this change from users to customers. Now we say users again, and it's all it doesn't matter in a way, I think. To make it a little bit in a European perspective, the European Commission launched a public consultation on Science 2.0. And they got 500 responses and 28 position statements with 28 different definitions of Science 2.0. And we have put that together. It's some of our work as well, that we look what is happening around Europe, around the world on this things, and we put that together, and it's quite interesting. Now, from this public consultation, the European Commission is working on a funding structure, funding program on open sciences. So now it's called Open Sciences, and this is open. The users, or in a way our users, the researchers, I'm concentrating on the researchers mainly now, it's open. So, and I would like to give you some findings of this survey, of this public thing. What are the key drivers of Science 2.0? So it's new ways for disseminating output, new ways of collaboration. And what are the barriers for Science 2.0? It's the lack of integration in the existing infrastructure. I will explain that in the next slides. And then what issues within Science 2.0 do you need for policy intervention? Open access and open research data are the most prominent. So I would like to tell you what we do there. So first of all, what is Science 2.0 in our senses? As I said, 38 different definitions in our senses, and it's a sense we are concentrating on the researchers, but as well, what is the library's role? Science is in transition. If you look, Econstore is our repository, it's a subject repository, and in the last years, the number of publications just rose, the number of downloads, it's incredible. So the possibility to have, to spread research output, I know it's a little bit different in business schools if it concerns data, because financial data, we can't produce it ourselves, we have to buy it, and it's very expensive. So there's some difference between socio-economic data, and but in publications, especially in Germany, it's getting to be similar, to to be seen in a way. And if you see with Science 2.0, with social media or participatory web techniques, you can just have, here is a publication from one of the research institutions in Germany. They sent it to us, we spread it, or we store it on Econstore, and then they have a permanent link. It's very easy. They don't have to deal with that for themselves. And you can just exchange Facebook or Foursquare or something. You can say it's Mendeley, it's ResearchGate or something like that. And it's really working very well. The former head of the Monopoly Committee in Germany, Professor Haukap, he is a quite influential researcher. And he has all his publications on Econstore, and every time there's a new publication saved on Econstore, he's twittering it. And then it's going everywhere. So what happens? It's going just, it's really another thing than just to have it in paper or just to have it somewhere locked. And then it can be seen, it can be read, it can be cited, or it can be discussed on Twitter and so on. So, and then there's the techniques. If you see linked open data, it's something everybody is in it, and libraries are very, it's an issue, especially in Germany. Everybody wanted to have its catalog in linked open data, and then there have been the next questions. Do we just give all data away, or do we have special licenses for that? So, but we have our metadata of our repository in the linked open data. Now it can be connected to others. So when there are citations and so on, it's all connected. It can be connected via themes, and so on. So it's changing in a way. So Science in Transition, for us, Science 2.0 is investigate how participatory web technologies will impact on research and publication processes. And for us, then, so we have a research alliance in Germany, Science 2.0, and there are a lot of institutions, interdisciplinary, because that is something what happens as well. Research is not done within a university, within a business school. It's done interdisciplinary, more and more interdisciplinary, and global. So research groups are not located just at one, normally not anymore located at one institution. It's somewhere, and it's all this. It's more in the sciences, STM, but in the economics and business studies, it's coming as well, very much. Even in Germany, where especially the business researchers are very centered to Germany and to German publications, they are spreading now as well. So now I would like, so it's like, for us, it's how we could innovate scientific library services to meet the users' expectations. And they want, we had the discussion, print, electronic, it's all true, but they don't want to wait days for a print book. They just want to access it, and then they print it, to have it in print as well, or something like that. We don't know. And now it's new ways for disseminating output and new ways of collaboration. The research questions. If we look how we try to get to know what the user, it's not only to ask the users, what do you want? It's just more to understand how they work, because if you ask them what they want, it's different to look what they are doing. So it's sometimes they think that they know what they want, and we should listen to them. But on the other hand, they just do another thing. And they are not aware of that they act different than what they say they want sometimes. So how does the social web impact on working habits of researchers? Collaboration is a very important thing for us, but for the researchers as well. Dropbox, all this stuff, Google Docs, where you can bring things together. How does the social web impact on research and publication processes in different research disciplines? Blogs, Twitter, blog communication, scientific communication on blogs. Is this something which has to be evaluated or not? And so if we see the traditional feedback channels, there's a paper, there's a thesis, and then you have via email or on a conference, you discuss it, and then you send it, and so on. And it's just, you can go to a conference, but otherwise you have to spread it to the people you know. You can't just spread it somewhere. With the social feedback channels, you can just put it somewhere, and you can't control it anymore where it goes, okay? But if you would like to have a real feedback, and if you would like to have it to have an influence because it should be discussed, it's good to spread it even more. Like the professor who spread everything on Twitter, he says, I have a new publication, and then it's spreading all over the world. So this is something really influential. We have done in this research a survey in Germany where we looked what the researchers in STM and economic sciences do with social media. So, and we have identified 4 different kinds. Pardon? I'm Mr. Maker, Mr. Tech and Mrs. Maker. When we are somewhere on a library conference, we do a quick survey for the people, and you can get a button for what you are. And it's quite interesting. Most of the researchers use Wikipedia. Yeah, I don't comment that, but So this is something what we do, where we ask the researchers and then get some results. And if we put them together, it's different than what they tell in another way. And then it's the next part, the lack of integration in the existing infrastructure. And if you look into that, yeah, because everybody's using Google. We can't change that. The Google-like search is what everybody wants. So the research questions are, how do Science 2.0 tools support research and publication processes? And what Science 2.0 tools are needed to innovate these processes? If you look, this is our reading room 100 years ago, or 90 years ago. Now we have a nice reading room. We are sitting in Hamburg and in Kiel, directly near the water. It's very nice. And we had the catalog, card catalog, LPAC, for some years now. Today, this is our portal discovery service. In the first years, we had a lot of links, and we tried to catalog the internet, and we have been very exciting on that. Cataloging the internet. It's a little bit... So then there was a relaunch. Now Econbase looks like this. It looks like Google, but that is what everybody wants. So it's a discovery services. And this is the lack of existing infrastructure. When we look, where are the users? They are not in our catalogs in a way. They have to go there. So at the moment we take the user to the content, and we have to go there, or we can go there to take the content to the users. So where they are, how does that work? We are working on that, and there we are come to the open. If you think of, there are some findings on how the logics of the Web 2.0, X.0 is working. And you have Google, Wikipedia, and so on here. Very many tremendous unique visitors, very strongly known, very influential. And then the rank of the site, Google, and here, we are here somewhere. So we have not so many visitors. We are not so influential with our website. So what are we doing to be seen more, to get some influence maybe? We do search engine optimization, social media optimization. We have a team who is doing that. On a technical, there's a language, schema.org, where the metadata for Google is structured, and it's the same with social media optimization, Facebook, Google Groups, Google Plus, and so on. So, and then we don't compete with Google. We just say, okay, when the people should find us in Google on the first spots. And we can do that in the same way for specialized resources, like our catalogs, our discovery services, digital libraries, archives, and so on. And the idea is now, how can we do that? And we have a European Union-funded project where we have Europeana. It's after Google started its book digitization, Europe started Europeana. It's not a concurrence, but it's a collection of digitizations archives in Europe. Then Mendeley, it's this platform bought by Elsevier, but it was before Elsevier bought it, where you exchange documents and so on. And our portal Econbase is there as content partners, and they are, when you have a EU project, you have to do, I don't know, 15 partners or something like that. It's all. And we try to find out how to reduce the distance between the users who are here, and the content, which is there. And we did something, and we did, this is very new now, a prototype on search within Google Chrome. So it's a Google Chrome add-on, and I tried it. The problem was I had to learn that because it was just published on Monday, so I had to I didn't know that how to work, because it looks completely different than the prototype before. And you have this, it's called e-access, and it's just when you are on a website. I took the Center for Management in Agriculture of the IIM in Ahmedabad, and they found out agribusiness is the main topic of this site. So it's this green corner is the frame is what the system had looked for. And then they found some keywords, and then you can start a search. So it's just working there somewhere. You don't have to, but then you just click on the 80 results, and you get this. And you can sort that, you get information on IIM. Maybe you got the link to the center via Google, and then you have via Google search, and then you find something to the IIM. And you can sort these via date or other stuff. So it's quite, this add-on helps to bring the people, the users, then to your systems, because then you go to a hit, and then you come to Econbase or to Mendeley or something like that. You take the users where they are at Google, and then bring them to your services. And this is where we can't do all the infrastructure where we educate the users not to go to Google, but to come to us. It works to an extent, but it won't work. We can't compete with Google. We shouldn't do that. But we can use Google to bring the users to us, because nobody is really completely satisfied with Google, because you have to look, is this the right? And then if you then bring the users to the right content and to the right resources, then it's a good way to bring them. So then there was the third question, what is where we have to do political stuff. I don't go into the politics, because it's, yeah. When we are talking about open access, I say openness, open access in a broader sense. This is this open access green road, golden road for publications, free for everybody. We can, I would say, accessibility of publications, data, texts for reusage without barriers. So I'm coming from the license management in a way, and we are employing 3 lawyers to do the licensing management now. When I started, I was alone, and now we have 3 lawyers doing the license management. We do national licensing and so on. And we buy archives from ebooks, from journals, and we have the right to host them with us. We have everybody with a scientific interest in Germany can access them. And it's not only the institution or the institutional access, it's the personal access as well. And we are allowed to host them if the publisher is not existing anymore. We are allowed to do text and data mining, which is very important to find out more out of the text, the big data. And so this is a little bit a kind of open access as well, but not the open access in the narrow way. Because if we can use it, at least in Germany, we can do more things with it than just have the license, and then if we don't buy the license again, then it's gone. The prerequisite with everything is to partner with researchers when we do something in open access, because they don't care in a way. They don't care. They just want to be seen. They just want to be published in the high-ranked journals, because that is what they need to do. And we have to work, because if they know that there are differences, then if you work together with them, then they care. A lot of them care, because then they see, oh, they can influence this. So if we look on the Econ Store, I said, it's more than 100,000 publications, and it's working discussion papers from all over the world. It's conference proceedings, books out of print. We started to negotiate with publishers in Germany who have books which are not in print anymore, and they don't want to do them in print. So we can publish them in open access, freely available for everybody. It's not the newest one, but it's an old one. It's from the 2000 years and so on. But, and they get a copy as well. So sometimes they didn't even have digitized it. We have a self-upload service, which is working very well. And so we have some services like direct dissemination service to REPEC. We wanted to do that for SSRN as well, but SSRN, even if you pay them money, they don't want to change their business model. It's a little bit, we discussed and negotiated with them for years, but it's really disappointing. And so we help, with this repository, we help the researchers to just boost their publications, like Professor Haukap did. And then even more important, I think, now is research data management. And when we started with research data management, we said, okay, we won't store this, because we act in close cooperation with the researchers. And this was very good, because we started to work together with the Council of Research Data in Economics and Social Sciences in Germany. And they want to have validated data available, citable, and so on. So and we are now the hub for them to do everything they want, and we even can't do that because we don't have the resources to do everything they want. But it's a good way to work together with them. They articulate what they need. You have to understand what they need. Sometimes it's, as I said, a little bit different than they say, but our role here is to support discovery, citability, and sharing of data, as well as provision of guidelines and best practices. It's very important. If you have data produced, you want to make the most out of it and don't give it to others who just didn't do all the work on it. So to make them open, you have to find incentives that they are doing that. Citable data is one of the greatest incentives, that you have data with a DOI, with everything, where you can just, where it is really, then it's easier to refer to them. Just some charts. We do DOI registration. We have a joint project with social science institutes to build up a data repository with very low hurdles for the researchers to bring it in, because we librarians, we can't do all the metadata, all the cataloging of research data, because it is so much knowledge you need to know within the data that we can't do that on our own. Then we have a project where we start to find out how to publish data and to bring journal articles together with data. And it's very interesting. Elsevier is very keen on that. They want to have our guidelines for their own editors, for their researchers, for their publications. And we have, this is something we did together with, it was something the researchers said, oh, we need something, for our PhDs and so on. We need something, how they could work with data, how they should do that. It's only in German, because it's German focused. And then we said, okay, we can do that. And this is a tremendous success. It's just finding, citing, and documenting data. And we just, it's available online. It's in German because it's concentrated on German links and German institutions and how to do that, how best practices. And this is something We thought about doing it in an English version, but then we have to implement more institutions from UK and so on, because in Germany we are not on the forefront of every data management ideas. So, and then the last point, and then I'm research, international cooperation. We thought we have to work together. So this is on us. Research is getting more and more interdisciplinary, global, self-organized, and that we have to look into quality criteria, alt metrics, and so on. So to support them, we have to collaborate as well. And I just would like to show you our Econbase again, the portal, our partner network, where we, on the one hand, we bring together a research output from the partner institutions to publish it better, to bring it to the readers. And we try to work together to exchange knowledge, to cooperate, to find partners for joint projects, and so on. And just a map where we are working on that, and it's already some spots in the world are already partners. We have 25 partners in 25 countries now, and we are enlarging that. So it's really very important to work together to exchange, and we have a meeting once a year, and that's all.
Thanks, Dr. Thorsten, for that wonderful presentation and sharing your innovations and experience. We have 5 minutes or 4+ minutes for some questions. Dr. Anil.
Yeah, Thorsten, that was a very insightful and very useful presentation. My question is pertaining to the research data management. So what is the software platform you're using to manage the research data? And if it's something that you have own developed, or it's an open source platform? If it is not an open source platform, then do you have any opinion on the open source softwares available to manage the research data, like for example, CCAN as such?
As I said, we don't store data, so we don't have a platform for that. We have, when we had for our own journal, it's an open access journal, we use Dataverse as you use. So because we started that before with the DOE registration. So we have an open source, self-made project together with another institution to register data. So we are a register agency for registering data with this global initiative data site, DOE registration, and we do it for the social and economic sciences in Germany. And otherwise, it's we work together with partners who store data, but I don't know what they use. Mostly they are data centers, they have built it up themselves, or it's a social economic panel, one of the most influential data producers in Germany for this data, and they are using their own system. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
My question is, I just want to know, in addition to eco-business partnership, what other open source database you are using to get the data from the Indian side?
From the Indian side?
Yeah.
When I started my career at the library, I was a librarian in charge of Asia and Africa. So I looked into all the publications, DK, it was, so this is still a very traditional way to get publications from India on the print level, etc. It's still working that way. And then we try to find institutions, and we look into the web. The more institutions come to us to say, oh, we have something would be interesting for you as well, the better it is, because it's tricky to get that from our side. That is the reason why we do the partner network, because, for example, Argentina, we have the EIA Business School there with us, the Business School Library, and they are spreading around their network to look, oh, do you have, it's not only publications, it's events, conferences, and so on. And they just deliver it to us, so we have a better overview of publications in business, in economics, in South America and Argentina within Econbase. And if it is open access, openly available, then the link goes directly there.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, what is the search engine optimization and how it can be helpful to us?
The search engine is open source. It's ViewFind. It's, I don't know how, it's, in Germany it's very, it's, you know, you have this discovery services from EBSCO and so on, and ViewFind is a community very strong in Germany, and we decided to take that, and it's really good because it's very flexible and you can do a lot of it.
It's an open source.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to take?
This building common platforms, how driver kind of that infrastructure organizations that is very famous for open access, interoperability and other things are really helpful. And one answer to Anil is, see, if you want to really build incentives within these software systems like citations, and you have to give persistent identifier to your records, and the author involves, for example, if you want to include RSID within that repository systems, and visualization, connecting with other services, Dataverse seems to be much better than CCAN. CCAN is by and large for open data, government open data, whomsoever can want to throw. They don't care about these citations or something. Then that front, probably CCAN will be working. This only one thing. Thank you.
One last question.
Thorsten, you mentioned that you're working so closely with researchers to understand what they need and give them. Do you give them any kind of analytics? Do you search and pull information together for them so that they know once their materials are in the econ store what happens to them? Or is there a dashboard that they can access to see what kind of downloads, et cetera?
So when we look at Econbase, it's DSpace and DSpace installation. We do everything we do with archiving on DSpace. And we have, on top of that, analytic tools on that. And at the moment, the people working on this, on the front side, they are acquiring new content. They are, but it's normally coming to us. And they do the analyzing the data to send them to the researchers, to the institutions who have the discussion paper series and the conference proceedings. So they get a lot of things out of that, yeah. And we take REPEC as well and bring it all together to give it to them.
Finally, Ila.
Yeah. Ich bin Ila Bibliothekar im IIM Trichy. Ich habe ein question. When you are actually collaborating with researchers, generally, there should be a long-standing relationship with the researchers. How far actually long-lasting relationship you have one? And second thing is, why the researchers come to you? What is the benefit they get, or what is the benefit you get out of the researchers?
The benefit we get out of the researchers, we get, you know, every 7th year we are evaluated by our funders. It's the national government and all the federal government. And every 7th year we have to show them that we are better than just a university library for all researchers in Germany and all students. And if the researchers know us, it's the one prerequisite. If they know us, it's already good. But we want to help them, because otherwise they can know us, but they have to have the need to use us. And it's a very tricky work, because it's easier for a university library, it's easier for a business school library, because you have a very narrow group of users. You know who they are, maybe you know them by name. We have the whole Germany in general. So, but the good thing is we collaborate with the researchers, like with the board. They are the ones who say how the researchers have to, what the researchers have to do with the data. So if we collaborate with them, they say, okay, you can, if you need some support, go to the ZbW. And so we use the decision makers to work together. Then we have a network. Our, for example, the second column, the head of this division, it's one division. The head of this division is a researcher, an economic researcher, business researcher, I think business, yeah. So she has a network, and she's going into this network and connecting. We invite them to workshops to discuss research data, not the influential ones, but the others, the young ones. We try to get them as well. We are on the associations meetings, have a panel there now. It's a hard work to get that, but if the Schmalenbach-Gesellschaft, it's the German part, it's a German association of business studies. If you have a panel there, then you have a visibility, and then you can get the contact, because normally libraries and researchers, it's tricky to get in contact together.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Thorsten. Please, may everyone give a wonderful round of applause. Yeah. May I call upon Wiley? Thanks a lot. Is Wiley around? Yeah, please come.